Oh, there he is.
John's in here.
All
John's
right.
here.
So we're good. Andrew, if you want to get started.
Sure.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. So we'll call to order at 6:04. Thank you, everyone, for getting out tonight on unscheduled meeting here. First is the review. What the meeting was for is if everyone's had a chance to review the 3 documents that was sent out last week regarding the additional geotech. It adds $67,760 to the original scope, bringing the new total to $367,760. Is that correct, Meg?
That's correct.
Okay. Is there any comment on that before we get a motion? Geetha, did you have something for that?
Yeah, I can just add, yeah, I did review, Jay, the, after the last meeting, they went back and added the paragraph about the tree clearing would be required. But I just want to bring it to the attention, the assumption part still says, no tree clearing would be required, but I think it has to also reflect it because that's the first place I went to look for. So assumption has to match what they accept upon. I just want to say, I guess I would have liked to see how much the tree clearing part could have been kept separate as opposed to, they kept the drilling as the same amount, by including. So, it's just not right. The tree clearing crew would also charge the same amount of hour with the cost that would be required for the drilling crew. I would have liked to see, maybe X amount of dollars up to for tree clearing, that would be required plus this, You see what I'm trying to say, Jay? They kept the fee same. It just doesn't make logic because, about 77 feet they have to drill per day. That looked reasonable for 4 days, Now it's like eating into with the tree clearing and we don't have a cap. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you. So,
Meg, do they give us itemized bills on this?
yeah, they kept the drillers the same,
Right.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But Meg, do they give this itemized at the end so we can see it, or is it a lump sum?
Typically, well, are you talking about their proposal or how does TAPE invoice?
How does TAPE invoice?
So TAPE typically provides a copy of the sub-consultant's invoice to TAPE, and then they put their markup on it and attach it to. And it is, their invoices are line items, so you'll see, Weston & Sampson or whatever, food services, and then they have their part, and then it'll be the total. So yeah, they break it down. I can't say for sure how Weston & Sampson will break this down, but we can ask them to do it.
Yeah, we can go to the page of what they have, and I just want to point out to you, we just don't want to come back at the end. The tree clearing took some X amount of hours and we couldn't accomplish it. So, it could have been kept in a separate manner. The driller send a tree clearing crew, take care of that problem at the same time, not holding the drilling, and they would keep going because they need to do about 77 feet average per day to finish what they need to do. And which we also needed that information, but I just want to, I don't want to hold this, but I want to point out, that logic is being missed. You can go to the page where Weston & Sampson has the drillers page, and that's where I want to point out. Not here. They keep going down. This is TAPE, right?
Geetha,
go to the Weston & Sampson.
Yeah, this is just a 2-page document, Geetha, that I'm sharing.
No, this is TAPE's one. Go to the Weston & Sampson proposal, how they broke down the 61.
So Geetha, that is a 2-page file, so it's going to take me a minute to pull that up. Let me see if I can hold on. Just it's like it's like a 16-page document, right?
Yeah, I just want to point out. I wish it had been caught by our OPM that we have, So
So this is what you're looking for, Geeta?
Yeah, go down to the page, Chris. I want to say between 13th and 20th, they kept the amount same, but there's a fundamental logic is missing. And I wanted to say, yes, we are aware of it too. So keep going down, maybe the little table, maybe up, yeah. This figure is great. Now we can see the whole story. Keep going up, but one page up.
Right there.
Okay. Yeah, go up, maybe up, yeah, one more page. Okay, if you may stop right there.
Yeah.
See, what I have trouble is the 15,800 stayed the same between the 13th and the 20th. So this is, and now this involves the tree clearing as well. So I'm just trying to point out here. It's
No, I understand.
Yeah, okay. That's
But
all.
the good news is it's here and it's in writing.
Say that again?
It's here and it's in writing.
Yeah.
In other words, you're raising the concern because it was 15.8 in the previous version, right?
Yeah, so at the same time, Chris, what we would be affected is we don't want to say 4 days is eaten up and we couldn't do 2 borings for blah, blah reason. You see what I'm saying? Typically what they should have done is send a crew for the tree clearing at the same time drilling is happening. You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. But in other words, if this was the first and only proposal that you saw, this would not necessarily be a red flag, right?
Say it again?
If this was the first and only proposal you saw, you wouldn't have that concern about the 15.8, correct?
It's just because it didn't
They had
change.
also included the tree clearing as well, right? And well, how do I phrase it? I went back and asked, can we see the proposal from the driller, period. But I guess we can approve this, Chris and Jay, but I just wanted to say, I saw the little gap of just, you see what I'm saying? I mean,
We'll pass that note along to them also to make sure that the concern is that we don't spend all the time clearing trees is a concern.
Yeah. You know,
Right.
I mean, it's not fair. The drilling crew, our time, and the tree clearing is not right. And we don't want to, we also want to gather information, you know, so we don't want to hear back, okay, by the way, we couldn't complete 2. And who knows, there may be some boulder field and they may have to focus on the drilling as opposed to, so
Geeta,
maybe one other one and I'll shut up.
No, I wanted to thank you, Geeta, just for how carefully, you look into this and all the detail that you bring to these discussions. And you said a moment ago, you were sort of pleased with this diagram. And so I think you had missed the first part of the meeting, maybe 3 meetings ago, where we were basically saying, although TAP-A typically would not go this step until much later in schematic design, because we have the funding available through feasibility, now seems like a good time to do this, particularly with all the kids off site. So you were saying, I want to be sure I understood, you're pretty pleased with this diagram and these locations here?
The same token, Chris, it's a must from where we are now to have this. So it's not, yes. So
good.
Yeah. So it's not. So it's this is how we should, start about and get getting some information. But I wanted to add, we were on the upland at the previous investigation, and I see the point because one question also we asked, why not consider doing some groundwater sampling as well? Why do I ask that? Because, the site, the storm drains are everywhere and whatnot. Sometimes the portions of the site are functioning as a dry pond and whatnot. So the reasoning they added in the proposal is, well, in the upland, they didn't come across any groundwater. And so that's why they don't envision doing any groundwater sampling. I would take a different angle though. We are now going into the lowland area, especially 107 and 109. And I'm assuming they might turn into a groundwater well, observation well. And, I would have liked to have a groundwater sampling as well, but just wanted to say, just taking the position now, they're not doing any groundwater sampling at this stage. So.
Mark, you had a question or a comment?
Yeah, if we did need groundwater sampling, we have 2 monitoring wells at B2 and at B7. So we do have an opportunity to do that in the future if we want, if we feel like it's necessary.
Right.
Those are my comments.
Okay. Does anyone feel comfortable making a motion, or do you want more discussion on this?
I'm happy to make a motion, Jay, but I just want to point out these other concerns that I saw, you know.
Right. And we'll make that noted to them that, you know, this is what we're expecting.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have had more time to discuss this also, but we just got it on, I think, Thursday, and rushed it through just to get this going on the first week of July. So.
Yeah. I'm happy to make a motion. So.
All right. Motion by Keith. Do we have a second?
Second.
So just to be clear, we're authorizing TAP A to engage Weston and Sampson for additional geotech in the amount of $67,760 as presented in their letter June 8th.
Correct. Bringing the new total to $367,760.
Thank you for that.
I'll
second that.
Okay. And we'll do a roll call. Lisa?
Yes.
Brian?
Aye.
Geetha, Colleen?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Don?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, motion passed, and we'll go on to our agenda. All right.
Jay, that was it, but there's one item that was not on the agenda.
No, we have payments, Chris, from Meg
do?
first. Yep, we have I just sent that out about probably an hour ago.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
And it has the Hill.
Hold on.
Did you get that, Chris?
I'll bring it up. I mean, I
Okay.
didn't see it earlier, but now I do. I'm just waiting for it to load. Yeah, give me just a second, Jay. I got it
Sure.
here. Okay, everybody see that?
Yep.
So we have Hill International for 91.55, TAP A for 60,000 even, and VHB for 855. And Meg, you have a note on there that this is just our portion of
Yeah.
the larger invoice.
Involving the well
Yeah,
field?
so, yeah, this is for the well field site, you know, we split the cost
Yep.
of that contract, so.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm happy to make a motion to authorize payment to Hill, TAP A, and VHB in the amounts of 91.55, $60,000, and $855 as presented by Ms. White, June 27th.
I'll second it.
thank you, Don. All right, we'll get a roll call. Lisa,
Yes.
Brian, Brian?
He said aye.
Okay, sorry. Geetha,
Aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
We already have Don. Okay, so that's passed. Great, thank you. Payments. Okay, next, we had something that came up with the high school. You know, we authorized Meg to go out and look and hire TAP A to do some drawings. We've got back some proposals, and I think Chris can fill us in on it.
And I want to introduce this by saying, so this is an item that just was not known to Jay when we pulled the agenda together end of last week, but TAP A, you know, we asked them to go into the high school and put together a package for dispensers for period products at Winchester High School that were just not installed when the building was completed. They've actually done that work. It's a tight little package. And Frank, Dr. Hackett, who's not with us tonight, he's on his way to Spain to meet his biological father for the first time, which is very exciting. We had an opportunity to talk to Frank while he was in Atlanta earlier today. Meg and I did. So he really does see the urgency of moving forward on this. I certainly would like to do it as well. This is something it's particularly important to a number of students there at the high school who've really been advocating for this. So given that TAP A has done the work, they've got a package that's virtually a bid set. What I wanted to suggest is that we authorize Meg to just go out and get a minimum of 3 quotes to do the work. We're not authorizing the work, we're not spending any money, but we can authorize her to go get those 3 quotes. She could maybe bring something back to us at our next meeting. It's doubtful we'd be able to get it all finished this summer, but TAP A did, wherever possible, recommend surface mounted fixtures in some instances because of ADA travel routes. We actually do need recessed or semi-recessed, but they, I think, were economical in how they were making some of those design judgments. So it'd be really important that I think we move forward on this. So if it pleases the committee, Jay, I would just move that we direct Meg to get at least 3 quotes on the work, and then she can just bring that back to us at a future meeting and we can discuss it further.
Okay, can we get a second?
I'd second that motion to authorize Meg to get the bids.
Thank you, Brian. All right, we'll get Lisa.
Yes.
All right, Geetha,
Yes.
Colleen,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Don.
Aye.
All right, motion passed. So Meg can go out and get some quotes. Very good.
Appreciate
And
it.
I don't think we had anything else for tonight. I know Don sent some meeting minutes over the weekend. I think we didn't have time to review them for
Yeah, we'll
tonight,
get
get
them
them on the
next
agenda. But they'll definitely be on the agenda for the 11th. So,
And can we just review real quick, Jay, in terms of future meeting dates? If we have the 11th, we have the 25th, we have August 8th, August 22nd.
22nd. Yep.
And then we're holding a meeting on August 29th, which might be kind of a procedural vote because the schematic submission is due to the MSBA on Wednesday, September
yeah.
1st.
Exactly.
It would be good to just remind the EFPBC, you know, we had a very, very high level introductory conversation around project delivery method, design, bid, build versus CM at risk. And TAP A has indicated, you know, based on their experience in some other projects, some difficulty getting some long lead items and some things they don't typically think of as long lead items. So I think there's interest in continuing to have that conversation, particularly with some input from Hill in terms of what they're seeing in other projects to see if there's any difference in terms of project delivery method in terms of minimizing the risk of project delay. So that's something we just kind of need to keep on our minds, and I think will be a recurring agenda item, you know, in the next couple of meetings, right? Because what Charlie keeps reminding us is we need to decide on the project delivery method when we submit on the 1st, and we can't really be making that decision on the 29th. The 29th is more like a procedural vote that says, okay, you got all your ducks in a row, submit. So we kind of need to be making that decision, I think, no later than the 22nd. Is that right, Jay?
Yes, they'd like it on the 8th, but they can last to the 22nd because it does affect the cost estimator also.
Right. Yeah,
So,
they want to be able to let the cost estimator know what method
Right.
we're going to use. That way it informs their, you know, estimating.
the 8th would be great, but they can wait to the 22nd if it takes up discussion.
Do you think we'll need 3 meetings of discussion to get to?
It will just be a topic during that, but I think it's going to be heated, Mark. And I think what we brought up today, it might not, I mean, something we have to look at is we might not be able to make the schedule anyways, possibly with, even if it was with the way materials are out right now, electrical gear, HVAC, steel. So the 3 or 4 months that you gain on the CM at risk might not pull the job still into schedule. We don't know. Hill needs to do a lot of research for us. That's what we've asked them to do. They need to look at projects. They need to tell us lead times and advise as to what we should be doing. They need to pull some information together for us.
Great.
I think those 3 meetings, Mark, will just be helpful to be sure everybody on the committee has an opportunity to ask questions and be sure they're getting answers to their questions, because it's a big decision which way we go.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
have a question. Along the line, you said, Jay, I guess our OPM has one cost estimator and then designer has one cost estimator. Is that correct?
Yes, and they have to reconcile too.
Yeah, sometimes I thought, like the other time, you were saying that you may just ask them to jot down the risk of what is associated with it. I know with the recent trend, I have also seen the cost estimators, not with respect to what is the project delivery method, but they're sort of giving their look ahead point of view on how things are going. I'm just wondering, like along the line, Hill has to do some research for us.
I brought that up today, Geetha, because I think the cost estimator should have some input on lead time also.
Yeah.
Charlie didn't really think that was their job to do that.
I have seen some write-up. Yeah.
But I think that they, not only are they following the trends of pricing, they're also following the trends of material coming in. So, so Hill owns delivering that to us. So they need to deliver us a schedule. If we have equipment that's 60 weeks out or 80 weeks out, we have to build backwards from that equipment. And if the 3 months we gain from a CM at risk doesn't pull that into line, then it might not be, I mean, it would be nice to get the steel and get going, but we really have to see all this in writing and let the committee, everyone get a chance to see it and see what's going on.
I just want to say the PSR, is it currently being loaded? Not that I'm going to start reading, but the other time I was in the Google Drive and I thought, oh, maybe I'll just download it just to see the updated about the permitting. But I think the drive is empty. I was just curious. Would it be loaded, Chris?
I don't know. Well, I have to go back and look. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was going to see in my, at least, what the PSR and what was the correspondence from MSBA that OPM has provided, and the whole drive looked empty. So anyway,
so
I was interested more along the permitting, what the feedback we have received and what not. Not that I'm going to do my reading, but when I do get into it, I would love to see it.
I thought I thought everybody had a link to it, but I'll go back and check.
Yeah,
the other thing I just want to review, I think you can actually.
I went to the Google Drive, right? That's what you have to do. Okay.
I think it's also on the MSBA website, but thank you for mentioning that. I'll go back and look. The PSR I know is a much bigger file than the PDP, so we're able to get the PDP there. So that'll be on my to-do list, Geetha. I'll go figure out where we stand.
Yeah. I was just curious what the correspondent that MSBA has given and what OPM has responded, something like that too. So,
Well,
were there any correspondence between OPM and MSBA, the feedback and whatnot?
So the MSBA, approved the PSR. So that was an official communication.
No questions and they just approved? No response?
Meg should weigh in.
Well, there was a little back and forth there, Chris. We had to respond with some answers to some of their questions. But that was kind of a group effort. Charlie took some, Hill took some, I took some. So it depended on the question.
Yeah. Would that be put on the Google Drive too? That's what my question. Was it a formal reply?
It was a formal reply. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can get that information, or Chris.
Yeah. I was just.
We'll dig it up. We'll make it available as a PDF. And then the only other item related to this, Geetha, is that we've asked Hill to put together a memo to the MSBA just to let them know formally. I think they were told informally that town meeting had approved the well field transfer. Because if you remember, town meeting opened on a Monday and the MSBA voted the project on a Wednesday. And I'm 99% sure somebody at least informally told the MSBA town meeting had voted to approve. And anyone, there's a window when town meeting closes, there's a window within which citizens can, protest an act of town meeting. That window is long past. So it's a done deal. So Hill is going to work on a memo to the MSBA just to make them aware that that's now official in terms of the well field transfer.
Just another update. we're working together with Hill to put together a milestone schedule for submissions and approvals, working backwards from the January 14th. I believe that's the date of the vote.
7th.
7th. So I'm working with Mary Ellen and Mark Toogood to figure out exactly when the board needs to vote things, when town stuff needs to be ready and prepared for town meeting, the language of the vote, the language of the, not only the town meeting vote, but the vote by the voter, the, ballot question for the voters. So we're going to work on that in July, and then we'll have that for everybody to have so that we can make sure that we don't miss any deadlines.
Okay. Anything else? We're 4 minutes over schedule.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you, Chris. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Geetha. All right, and Lisa?
Yes.
All right, Brian?
Aye.
Colleen?
Aye.
Thank you. Mark?
Aye.
And Don?
Aye.
All right, so moved. Have a great night. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. And
Have a good 4th of
see
July.
you on
Be
the
safe.
11th. Yes, have a great 4th.
Thank
Happy
you.
4th.
Bye.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice.
Bye-bye.